Hi, it's Zabo975 and welcome to Elite Dangerous on the Xbox One. Now I am planning to do it in a series on evasion techniques in Elite Dangerous on Xbox One. This will be based mostly on traders trying to escape from griefers, pirates, etc. It's going to be primarily based on that, and I'm going to start off very simplistic and get more complicated as I go on. So the first 1 or 2 episodes will be pretty much teaching people to suck X. Then we'll go into some of the wider stuff. Now, one thing I want to make clear is, before I start this series, I have absolutely and utterly no snobbery about people playing in open, solo or private group. Honestly, it makes no difference to me if you enjoy this game in any of those 3 modes. The important thing to me is that you enjoy the game and that we all share the same game. You know, I in fact encourage people, if they do not want human interaction or interaction of what they would perceive as a negative nature from players, then do not come into open. There is no shame or stigma about being someone who plays this game in solo or private group. You know, it seems crazy to me that we have this divide between the open people and the solo people and the private group people. I completely understand if you do not want to come into open, and I don't recommend it to anyone who doesn't want to have a negative interaction. The most important thing to me is that you enjoy the game. Some people don't mind the excitement of being pirated, others would hate it. So it's all, you know, personal preference and what mode you would choose to play in. These tips and this advice is pretty much for people in open. So I will be recommending things like running shields. And I know there's going to be people that comment and say, oh, but I run shieldless and I can make more credits per hour. But to me, if you play in open, you're taking that risk of being attacked by players and having a negative gameplay experience of being destroyed. So I'm just going to offer up what I think are sensible precautions to take to avoid that. Now, the main reason that I'm going to recommend ship builds and engineered stuff is because I think that is vital and an important part of playing in the open environment. There isn't a ganker out there that hasn't got a grade 5 upgraded ship. So if you want to play in open, you need to be prepared to be attacked by said gankers. Now, there are going to be situations that you can't survive. There are going to be situations where it's just best to get the hell out of there before the attack even starts. But I'm going to teach you to recognize those signs and to know what to work out and keep an eye out for. Now, I fully understand that the majority of space truckers, myself included, we don't play the game like the combat guys. We're not, G-fueled up and Adderalled up and really sweatily focusing on every little minutia and maneuver. We're not playing the game in that styly. We are usually listening to music, a podcast, doing something else and plodding around space trucking. So I am not going to give tips like, oh yeah, be aware of your surroundings or make sure you do this and that too much, because I fully know from my truck driving in Elite Dangerous, I may be a little bit distracted when I truck drive, may not be giving it my full attention, and I think that is indicative of truck drivers as they go, not really the sort of focused in, driven type of people. We don't do truck driving or mining because we want to sit there focusing really hard for a long period of time. So I'm going to avoid a lot of the or really pay attention to this or really pay attention to that. I mean, there's not going to be that much of that. This is going to be like how to get out when the things go bad. The first thing and the only thing I'm going to point out in this video is you always high wake. Always jump to another system. You do not get mass locked if you jump to another system. You do get mass locked if you try and go back into super cruise. So always hyperspace jump, or as we call it, high wake, and do not low wake. And that's it for this first video. That is my only tip. Always high wake, don't low wake, and I will see you in part 2 for some more in-depth stuff, and we'll go from there. And that's all for this video. Thank you very much for watching.